gratitude. That was it. However, welcome back to my channel. As you can see by the title of the thumbnail, you can see what I was going to be talking about. And that is the key, gratitude. Uh, Gratitude is one of the seven virtues. It's very interesting. The seven virtues, I have them written down in my book. There's a corresponding sin, seven deadly sins and seven cardinal virtues. And this is the way that they correspond to each other. The seven deadly sin, it's lust. The virtue is chastity. The seven deadly sin is gluttony. The virtue is temperance. The seven deadly sin is greed. The virtue is charity. The deadly sin is sloth. The virtue is diligence. The sin is wrath. The virtue is patience. The deadly sin is pride. The virtue is humility. And the sin is envy. The virtue is gratitude. And there's a famous quote, I believe it's Cicero. I may be wrong, but someone said that gratitude is the greatest of all virtues and the parent of all of them. It begins with gratitude. And so, onto the topic of this video. You could have people that have circumstances where you would be, it's like, wow, they have everything they could possibly need or want, and they're miserable. And some people have very little, but they're content, happy, not a care in the world. I have a very good friend of mine who he's about 10, 15 years older than I am, and he lives a very different life. He never married, he has no children, and he lives by himself. And he talks about how content he is, how happy he is, and that's the life that he wanted, and then he's grateful. We talk about gratitude, how grateful he is, and I am happily married. I have beautiful, wonderful children. I have a career, and I'm very happy. And it all begins with gratitude. My father used to have a saying. He would say it in Spanish, but it goes along the lines of, "I'm worried that I don't have any shoes, but somewhere there's some children that don't have feet." And back in the earlier part of the last century or the middle of the last century, there were photos or images of Africa, and there was poverty and famine and everything and leprosy. And there were some videos of children that didn't have feet. And my father would think about that whenever he thought about him not having shoes. There's a photograph of my father. There's like a family photograph, and he's a little boy, and sitting at his feet is a dog. And he said that they put the dog there because he didn't have any shoes, and they didn't want the photograph taken. My father barefoot. And so why didn't they just put shoes on him? Because he didn't have any, you know. But he talks about a lot about being grateful for what we do have. And there's a couple of quotes that I like about gratitude. And one of them that I shared this with my children recently was I hate my job. I'm happy with the job that I have, but that job that you have that you hate is a dream to someone who's unemployed. I don't like my house. I don't like the way where I live. It's this dump, and I wish I had something nicer, and something like on one of the TV shows. That house, that dump that you live in, is a dream to someone who's in a tent. And if you carry this perspective with you about how fortunate you are, how blessed you are, blessed is a better word, how blessed you are, and think about that, and that's in your head, you will be happy. I've made comments in the past about political, about if you're on the left, um, you will be miserable. And how is that? Well, why? How can I make such a general statement? Because you're on the left, you believe that there are these social issues that are just horrific. I don't believe that they're true. I believe that there are some problems, but the idea is that they're systematic, that they're built in. you're worried about all these things that you know you had nothing to do with, and nobody that you know has anything to do with them. And people, right away they think that the first thing, when someone I know was telling me that they walked into at a store at the Grove, and that everyone was looking at them. Nobody was looking at them. They believed that, and it made them miserable. And a lot of it had to do with their background and where they were in life. And I have this famous or popular quote that I keep, um, and it goes kind of like along the lines of this. Um, I was reading something about they interviewed people and they asked them, when were you your happiest? And the number one answer was high school. People, of all ages, and they asked them, high school was kind of like a fun time. And in the high schools, you're living at home, you have very little responsibilities, parents pay for everything. And that's the most common answer. But the best answer is, when is the question, when is the best time in your life? It's right now. This is it. And if you're going through something hard, this is when you can make a decision to change it. And you can do it. And you have to believe that you can do it. And sometimes that's a challenge for people. But you have to change that thinking. You have to change that mindset. And I know that's hard. Um, if you keep, however, reinforcing bad thoughts, about yourself, you will come to believe them. Words have a lot of power. Sometimes saying things out loud can be very powerful, and they can be, good things, positive things that will lift you up, and there are very bad things that will really bring you down. And a lot of it's your attitude. A lot of it's, what you say to yourself. There's also I'm a big proponent of habits, maintaining good habits. And there's one that I liked that said something along the lines of, success is not a one-time event. Success are good habits repeated every day over a period of time. And the same thing with failure. Failure is not usually a one-time thing. It's bad habits repeated every day over an extended period of time. Think about working out or reading or going for a walk every day. Make it a habit, and over a period of time, your health will be better. You'll be more knowledgeable. If you study something, you'll pick it up and you can develop a marketable skill. But failure is the same thing. If you spend way beyond what you can, if you put everything on a credit card, if you talk, if you gossip over a period of time, that will hurt you. And it doesn't. And the best thing. And here's another quote. I think this was somebody attributed to someone named Maria Robinson. So I'm not sure if that's true or not, but it goes something like this: nobody can go back and start a new beginning, but anyone can start today and make a new ending. And with that, I will end this video. This is a little bit of a shorter one, and I hope you enjoyed it. And please give me a thumbs up and put down a comment, and hit the little bell to subscribe to get alerted and subscribe. And thank you.